Arda Ocal and Jacob Wolf here in Atlanta, Georgia for the Overwatch League homestand at the Cobb Energy Center with Pete Vlastelica, who is the CEO and president of Activision Blizzard Esports. First of all, thank you for joining us on the desk.
It's awesome to be here. I love the set you guys put together. You got 2 skylines in the background, not just one, but 2.
We
awesome.
do.
Well
we did it by design.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're here at the Atlanta homestand. Just give us your overall thoughts on this weekend so far.
So far, so good. You know, we're halfway through, and you know, the Dallas event that we did a few months ago was set a bar for these events that, you know, we weren't sure how this event was going to stack up to, honestly. But when that Atlanta team took the stage yesterday and the whole place erupted, and then seeing what they did on the stage, like you know, I think the energy in the room here has been every bit as electric as what we saw in Dallas. And you know, if today goes as well as yesterday did, I think we've got, you know, 2 really successful homestand weekends under our belt that start to show that this model might be able to work.
That entrance was fantastic.
So great.
The team entrance was wonderful with the smoke and everything. So now that you've seen both Dallas and Atlanta, what are some of the positives, or what are some of the things that you hope continue as we move to next season and more homestands like this?
The fans. I mean, you know, when I always look at these events through the lens of the fans first, and you know, just seeing people lining up outside, you know, waiting for the doors to open, you know, all with smiles on their face, by the way, because this crowd is just awesome, and they love being around each other, and they love being around other people that love this game as much as they do, and the sport as much as they do. I think if 20 cities or 19 cities can roll out fan bases like this, then we're going to have some real success on our hands next year.
Do you feel any preference in venue? Like, this is more a concert hall, like the ballet, the symphony orchestra here in Atlanta. Meanwhile, it was a hockey arena in Dallas. Do you have a preference?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's one of the reasons we wanted to do this, honestly, and is to see not just the, you know, which type of venue works better, but which, you know, approach to production works better, which approach to you know, kind of player handling works better. We had a lot of things to test this year before rolling out the home and away model, you know, for good starting next year. You know, the Dallas venue was more of an arena. It was almost like a basketball arena with no upper deck. It felt great. I mean, one of the real benefits of that format is all the fans could see all the other fans. And I think that energy is electric, or is contagious. Here, you don't always get that perspective on just how many people are in the room. On the other hand, the acoustics in this room are awesome. Yeah. And so the noise sort of makes up for it. And so I think we're still at a place where, you know, an event like this can work in different types of venues. I don't know that I have a preference yet, but I'm working on that. I want a good answer to that question. We're just not there yet. We're still learning.
All 3 of the venues that the homestands are in, they progressively shrink in size. Was that intentional? When you look at where it was in Dallas, and then here in Atlanta, and then at the Novo in Los Angeles, you get progressively smaller, but they're all very different from one another.
No, not intentional. I think the choice of venue is largely up to the teams, and you know, teams are choosing venues based on a number of factors: demand for tickets, but also the story they want to tell, and the experience they want to create for fans in the room. We like that Atlanta chose this venue a lot. You know, it's a little smaller than the arena in Dallas was, and like I said, I guess if now I'm hung up on this preference question. I guess if I have a preference, I think I do prefer venues where all the fans can see each other. But we like that Atlanta chose this venue in order to help us develop that point of view.
So, you know, this year the finals for Overwatch are going to Philadelphia. That's a venue owned by one of your ownership groups. First, did that factor into that decision? And then also the other question after that would be, why not go international? Why not test your finals somewhere else?
Well, we put out a pretty broad call for proposals and ideas about where to host our grand finals this year. There are a lot of things to like about Philadelphia, and our partners there in that market made a really strong case for Philly, and in the end, you know, the dates worked, the sort of scope of what was on the table from our partner worked for us, and we think the fans in Philadelphia are going to show up and make the event fantastic. Internationally, I mean, we will by all means be, you know, outside of the U.S. for grand finals in the future. But this year, Philly made a lot of sense.
Is there any magic number in your mind, or at least a number that you hope to hit as homestands continue in terms of attendance?
In terms of attendance, we've always said that the sweet spot for an Overwatch event was about 3,000. We like the 3,000 to 6,000 range. We think that 3,000 feels like the event feels big. This is about 3,000, I think, just under. And it feels like a big event. There are a lot of fans, so you can sell it out, but it's also a great sized crowd. Dallas was a little bigger. This is the right range, though. Somewhere in the 2,500 to 5,000 range is what we've always had our eye on.
And that's hoping to continue as we get as more events like these happen, and they're not necessarily the first time in these kind of cities. Not so much as the novelty wears off, but as people see these more and more.
Well, we think that the demand for these events is going to grow as people come and have a great time and tell their friends about it, right? And make a point to coming back the next time. So, no, I think that the size of the crowd that we're seeing here today feels pretty good as kind of a baseline for the future.